Oh my goodness, that is such great news, Anna.
Oh my gosh, you guys, we are so sorry. Thank you so much for your patience.
It only took us 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We are so sorry about wasting your time, and appreciate you sticking with us. So, okay.
We really retained numbers there. I was afraid they were going to start dropping off, but we really held on to a lot of you. I'm impressed.
You guys are modeling resilience. We appreciate that.
Wow.
Okay, so my name is Anna, and I am the Administrative Director at Keystone Camp.
And I'm Martha, and I'm the Assistant Director.
And we're going to quickly, since we wasted 20 minutes of your time, do our slideshow presentation, and then we will leave some time for questions, because I know you guys have a lot of questions for us. So this first slide that we're showing is as you drive up to Keystone Camp. This is, well, we can't promise the rainbow, but we hope this will be your view. Over here on the left is the office, and the right is our pavilion where the girls start every day, and our gym. Okay, so speaking of arriving at Keystone Camp.
Yes. So hopefully on opening day, gates are going to open at 10 a.m. And we really want you guys, our new families, to arrive first. I think that makes everyone feel a little bit more comfortable and allows everyone to kind of figure out and get where they need to be before kind of all the veterans start running in and making things crazy.
Yes. So my favorite part of opening day is walking over the bridge. Martha, can you tell us about that?
Wow, it is a really special tradition that Keystone has. We do have a bridge that kind of stretches across our creek that runs through camp, but you're going to have all of our staff members there kind of to greet you in this big smiling tunnel, and then, your daughter will be matched up with a counselor, and they'll help you with some of your little things, and also just escorting you up to the cabin and making sure no one feels lost, like they don't know what's going on and where they need to go. Because I hate getting to a new place and, not knowing where the restroom is or where I'm actually supposed to go. It can create some anxiety, so we try and mitigate that, don't we, Anna?
Absolutely. So you're going to be greeted by all of these smiling faces. They're going to be yelling your camper's name. They're going to be so excited to see her, and then they will direct you where you need to go. So the first stop, once you get to camp, will be our cabins. So these are some pictures of our actual cabins. Every cabin has a name, and every cabin comes up with a slogan or a team, or we've had the Lorioso Lizards, the Pisgah Pancakes. It's a lot of fun when you get into your cabin and start meeting your cabin mates and getting all set up for camp. So, Martha, what else do we need to say about this?
Well, that's a perfect time for you all as new moms just to really meet your daughter's counselor. But you also there is a sense of you want to take a step back. We can help each other make the beds, get some shoes organized in a great way. But other than that, you kind of have to take a step back, and we try not to linger too much. A little lingering, good, to make sure everyone's tucked up, but not too long.
That's right. You want to get the bed set up and say your goodbyes because your camper is going to be off to some fun. A couple of the stops that you will make on opening day besides the cabin are our infirmary and our tuck shop, where you can order team T-shirts and your uniform shirts and ties and all of that stuff. So we will get that, give you more direction when you get to camp, and then you can make all those stops after you've been at the cabin. So, Martha, what do we bring into the cabin?
Oh, my gosh. That's where, we'll have our trunks, all of our clothes, maybe some stuffed animals, maybe not too many because that can be chaotic, but it's really your choice. But we're going to want to make sure we're labeling everything. I really like there's some fun new stamps you can get, like a personalized stamp, which is better than the iron labels if we're just talking about saving time and some kind of tedious things. But
absolutely. And one of the reasons we want you to label everything is because we provide a laundry service for your campers. So they will come home with mostly clean clothes, and we do laundry once a week, and the girls are actually responsible for helping to fold it and sort it. So having everything labeled makes a big difference when laundry day comes around.
Because, big shocker, everyone still has that same pair of black Nike shorts.
That's right, yes. Things can get mixed up if things aren't labeled well. Speaking of clothes to bring, we definitely play hard at camp. So Sometimes they can get muddy, they can get dirty, they can get covered in shaving cream, all kinds of things. So don't send anything to camp that you wouldn't mind getting dirty. We feel like it's a success if they are tired and dirty at the end of the day. So.
Right. And just one quick little thing, make sure that you're sending your daughter with an appropriate amount of shoes with back straps on them, because that is very important.
Absolutely. So we have a question, how do you label clothes? That's a great question. There's a couple of different options. We work with a company through Campminder called Oliver's Labels that you can place an order directly through your Camp in Touch account, and they'll ship the labels to your house. There's also some great options on Amazon. There are some fabric markers that you can write directly in the clothes. And there's also stickers or iron-on labels. I personally don't iron. It's a character flaw of mine. My husband knows I don't do it. So I like the stickers that you can write on with a pen or marker and then just stick them in the clothes, and they actually hold up really well. It makes me smile now when I'm doing my own camper's laundry and I see her name written in her shirt. So it's also kind of a fun memento of camp when everything is labeled.
I noticed that in some of my old sweatshirts the other day.
Oh, it's good stuff. Okay, so moving on, and this is something that I sent you guys an email about last week. Our
really quickly.
Oh,
yes, just first and last names.
Yes, first and last names, that's perfect. Oh, we also have a question about how do we find out which team my daughter will be on? That's a great question.
That's an Anna question.
I'm going to send out an email next week that will have some more information about buying your team tee and your camp uniform. And in that email, I will have your team name. So it'll automatically send what team we've assigned your camper to. So great questions, guys. Thank you. Okay, so I sent out an email earlier last week about medications at camp. And first of all, I want to apologize because we know that it is a pain for some of you guys to do this. And we just appreciate you taking the time to comply with what we're asking so we can make camp safe for everybody. Because medication time tends to get really busy, and by having our medications bubble packed when you get to camp, it makes medication administration much easier for our nurses, helps reduce errors, makes sure campers get all of the right medicines, and we can track what medicines and how much of each medicine they've taken with the blister pack. So again, you can use our pharmacy in Brevard. It's called Gordon's Pharmacy, and you should have gotten an email with that information last week. Or you can also try to get your local pharmacy to do it. We can send you bubble packs if you want to take them to your pharmacy. I will be honest and say that people haven't had great success with like a CVS or a Walgreens. I think they have corporate regulations they have to follow. But if she takes some medication, that does need to arrive at camp bubble packed. I'm sorry, I'm seeing a question. Can my daughter communicate with other members of her team before camp starts? If you will contact me, then I can definitely give you some names of campers to connect with. So, yeah, we can definitely make that happen. Martha, you want to talk about what medicines we have at camp available?
So just the typical, some Pepto-Bismol if your stomach is upset, maybe some Advil if you have a headache. But luckily you shouldn't because everyone's drinking plenty
Lots
of water. You can go there for just something for a bug bite, or maybe you need a Band-Aid. But
absolutely.
They're definitely there. Maybe you even need some emergency because of allergies. Who knows? I know I go there for emergency.
Yes, that's one of my favorite stops. So again, a question about simple things like Band-Aids. Any over-the-counter medication that your child does not take on a regular basis. So like if she gets a headache and she takes Tylenol, or she gets a tummy ache and she needs Pepto or Benadryl, we have all of that stuff and fully stocked in our infirmary already. So you don't need to send that. You don't need to bubble pack that. That's included as part of camp life. So anything that they don't take every day, we have in stock at camp. So those are great questions. I'm getting a question. Can my daughter request to be in the same team with her friends? You can definitely request it. We don't guarantee it because we have the Keystone sorting people that put our campers into teams. But you can definitely, if you want to shoot me an email, we can try to make that work. Okay, so this is a picture of what our bubble packs look like. I'm sorry, guys, our allergies are crazy on the mountain.
I don't know if you all know this, but the pollen is just everywhere. It is all over
Whew.
my car and everything, and I really have a sore throat from it. I don't know about you, Anna.
Oh my goodness, it'll all be gone.
Brevard,
It's so beautiful.
It's floral. It's flowers everywhere.
That's right. It's so beautiful.
My gosh, wow.
So beautiful. But along with that comes the pollen. So, excuse me for that. But okay, so this is a picture of what our bubble packs look like. And we need one bubble pack for each time of day. So even if your child takes 4 medicines in the morning, we just need one bubble pack because you can put all 4 of those medications in one bubble every day. So this is a very confusing process, and we apologize that we ask so much of you guys, but we just want to make sure that we're keeping our campers safe. That's our number one priority. So I also want to say I forgot to send out in the email that if your camper takes a cream or an inhaled medicine or has an EpiPen or a nose spray or takes a medicine that's already in a blister pack, then those, you just bring those to camp with the original prescription and we can take care of them. So I know that's a question I've gotten a lot this week, but if it can't be bubble packed, then we certainly don't expect you to bubble pack it. So again, we are happy to, I'm sorry, I can't read and talk at the same time. We are happy to answer any specific questions about this, so just feel free to give us an email.
Oh, luckily, I like this question. What if she gets her period during her stay at camp and needs medications for pain? Luckily, we are an all-girls camp, so I can tell you there's plenty of Midol and things of that nature
Absolutely.
in our infirmary.
Yes, and our nurses are so warm and caring that they will definitely make sure that she is taken care of.
And if it's a first time for someone, that's something we would, get a call home to the parents and let you all know just so you can, I know it's a special time.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to touch on is our Camp in Touch page. So this will be your lifeline during camp. A lot of you are familiar with this because here's a plug, our forms and documents page, our forms are due on May 1st, and if you get them in, then you'll have a chance to win a $50 camp store credit. So, and also I understand my own child can't get a physical until June 1st, and so I can't get her form in until June 1st, and that is okay. You don't even have to tell us, like, if you are not able to get it before camp, if you can just bring it on opening day, that would be great. So I know with insurance regulations, then that it's hard to schedule those sometimes. I'm sorry. We got another question. Original prescription does mean the label the pharmacy puts on the inhaler. So yes, that is correct. Okay, so also on this page is where during the summer you can email your camper. Martha, tell me how much campers love email.
Oh, they do. And it's kind of a fun twist on instant communication because we are a technology-free zone, Anna. But emails kind of allow you to connect with your daughter a little more quickly. And, they get an email reply sheet. They, get to work on their letter writing skills because I know that's something that's severely lacking in this day and age. But then, so they work on, that, and then at the end of the day, they bring it back, and we scan it to you all. And it's this beautiful, seamless system that, allows communication, not in just 5 or 6 days.
That's
travel
right.
Back and forth.
But here's another thing to keep in mind with that even if you send your camper an email, I print them out every day at 12 o'clock, and we stick them in their mailboxes. Don't always necessarily do they have time to send an email back to you the same day. They can, because we pick those up at 5 o'clock every day, and then I will send them back out. But Martha, our director wrote an email called The Life of an Email Response Sheet.
And you would be amazed at how busy your daughter is going to be during the day, where she really, my mom gets mad at me because it takes me, because I just don't seem to have time.
Yeah.
And I imagine that if I was a camper, it would be hard for me to find the time to write my mom back in the middle of the day.
Exactly.
Because you're running from activity, your daughter might be hiking. So
absolutely. We're getting a question, is email a better option than sending traditional letters? They are both wonderful. I do both for my own camper. I like an email because if there's something that I want to tell her or I've forgotten to put a letter in the mail, then I can at 11:30 say, oh, I need to email Avery, and so I can shoot that email right over. They also love getting mail.
I personally much prefer a handwritten letter, but maybe I'm just old-fashioned.
They both have value. Also important to note, we have a no package policy. We don't, if there are stickers or gum or anything, we will open the letter and take it out and save them for your camper at the end of the session. And that's just, it sometimes when you allow packages, it kind of creates a competitive atmosphere, and it's not great. So we found it better to do no packages except for
fruit baskets. Wow, that's my favorite part of camp. We actually allow you all to send a fruit package. My favorite is getting watermelons. It's kind of like a fun bonding experience. We can all eat watermelon together, have a watermelon fight, smash them on the ground. Who doesn't like getting a basket of peaches sent them?
It's so much fun. And we use a local company in Brevard for that, so they're familiar with what we can and can't have, and we'll send that over to camp. So as it gets closer, I'll send out the ordering information over to parents. All right. I also am apparently not good at typing and talking at the same time. And I'm really terrible speller, so I apologize for that. Okay, so to send an email, there's a thing called camp stamps. And this is where you will, it works kind of like a postage stamp. So you can buy quantities of one, I think, or packs of 10. They're $1 a stamp. It does cost $1 to send an email and $1 to receive an email. So another thing that gets confusing is there's actually another button that says credit card for emails and photos, which is different than the credit card you pay your tuition with. So just make sure before camp starts that you've got a valid credit card on file, and that'll make it much easier. So to send an email, you'll buy the camp stamp, and then it'll take you to a screen that looks like this. So you can select your camper and then type your message. And then right here at the bottom it says, I would like a handwritten e-letter reply. So what this does is it automatically generates a response sheet that the camper will write on, and it has a little barcode. It's 2019, man. It has a little barcode on the side of it, and so when we fax it back, it links it to your account, and that's how you get it immediately. So let's see. We're going to stop for a second and answer questions. Yeah, if your child does not have a physical before camp starts, if she's not due, you can send last year's. As long as it's within the last 12 months, then it's fine at all. And then, Martha, you want to answer the last one?
Yes. That would be up to your daughter. You know, I know some girls are more comfortable not swimming if they're on their period, and it's really just a personal choice if they're not comfortable using tampons yet or just don't like the idea of it. No one's going to make them take swimming, and our activity schedule is fairly fluid. They pick activities on, Sunday and then on Wednesdays, so they're kind of constantly changing. And because the way our system is set up, like I would have the ability to go in and change her daughter's schedule and let her counselors know and everyone else know what's going on. That's the beauty of being in a small camp and having a small staff.
And all girls, as we are all in the same boat. So, yeah, everybody's really accommodating with that. All right, let's see. The next thing, okay, so we have a camp mom who goes around, and her entire day is going from activity to activity, and she takes pictures. So we value all of our moms at camp, especially our photo moms. They're incredible. So when you log into your account, you'll have the option to see photos. And what you'll do is you can select the day. She usually uploads them twice a day, once in the morning and once in the afternoon, or once in the evening. So you'll have a chance to view all of the pictures. You can share them on social media, so all of your friends and your daughter's friends know what a great time she's having at camp. And you can also purchase them for download. So that's a really neat option. And it's really nice to, this is silly because I'm here. I work here full time all year. I'm always here. And my child is a camper, and I don't know what's going on out there. I rarely leave my desk. So it's nice for me as a parent to see what my own child is doing. So I know how valuable these are for you guys as parents, and it's a really great service that we are able to offer. Okay, let's see. We're getting some questions about what if the worst were to happen, like there were to be an accident, and which hospital is normally used, and how does it work with the communication with parents? That's a great question, and as a parent, I totally understand that concern. We're located about 10 minutes from the closest hospital, so if there were an accident, our camp director is immediately notified, and if she's not already on camp, which she pretty much always is, she actually lives up on camp property, then she will come immediately to the scene of whatever's going on. She will notify the parent, and then she will go and stay with your camper in the hospital until either you're able to get there or until the camper is released. So this is her 36th summer. She is super big on parent communication, keeping you in the loop. We had a camper last summer that had a gymnastics fall and broke her arm, and our camp director's husband is an orthopedic surgeon. So everything's covered. It happened on a Friday afternoon. They were both here within, I'd say, 5 minutes, took the camper to the hospital. They were able to FaceTime with the parents and stayed with the camper overnight and made sure everything was good. So that's a great question and definitely one I understand as a parent. I think it's $1. We got a question. How much is it per photo? I think it's $1.69 to download. One of the things that we're looking at is giving parents a credit from camp to start out with so that you can download a certain number. So be on the lookout for more information about that. All right.
And it's the Transylvania Hospital.
Yeah, Transylvania County, what is it now?
Transylvania County.
Regional Hospital,
Regional
I think.
Transylvania County Hospital.
Yes, and it is, it's part of the Mission ACH medical facility. So if they weren't able to treat her, then they can get her immediately either by helicopter or ambulance over to the big hospital in Asheville. So it's a great hospital. Okay, Martha, you want to talk about guest accounts? Trying to hear my voice. Okay, so you have probably friends or family or grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles that may want to be able to email your camper and also look at the photos from camp. So to protect our campers' privacy, we ask that you create a guest account for them. And again, this is on the home page of your account. And you just enter first name, last name, email, and it will send them an option to create an account. So I know a lot of times my favorite calls in the summer, sometimes they're from grandmas that are having a little trouble getting logged in and want to see what's going on in the campers world through pictures. So it's definitely a great thing to be able to grant these guest accounts and let them see for themselves what's going on. All right. Let's see. All right.
Well, that's kind of the end of our slideshow presentation, but now we really want to open up the floor for all of your all's questions.
Absolutely. So one of the questions we got is, how can you tell the difference between normal homesickness and a time when it's appropriate for a camper to come home?
That's a really great question. I know that we talk a lot about this in the office, and it's when it's no longer best for the child or the community, which rarely ever happens, because I know in our environment it's really important for us to give our girls these skills to be able to go out and kind of be able to make it in these social situations. And a lot of times it is hard, and we see where the first 2 days, I mean, it can be tears all day long, but by the time Wednesday hits, typically everything's fine.
Yes, and it is totally 100% normal to be homesick.
And it is the rarest occasions when a child actually ever goes home, and nobody wants it. But for us to make that call, it would really be, is it no longer good for your child or the rest of the community? And that's kind of how we try and look at things.
Absolutely. And one thing that we do want to emphasize is it is really a not great situation if you send your camper to camp and you've made a deal saying, oh, well, if you're really homesick, we'll come and get you. Because that kind of gives them an out, and a lot of times they
work.
It doesn't work, and they
Wow.
don't try. They don't make an effort to get involved in the community or the cabin that they're in. So we're actually going to be doing a stepper at home sickness webinar at the end of April, and we're going to give you guys some tools to do that. Hopefully we won't have technical
Some
difficulties.
great literature to read, some
Yes.
podcasts, you name it.
There's some things you can watch with your child before camp and some ways to get them prepared, because I always say, and I've learned through camp experience, that when we make it easy for our kids, we rob them of the opportunity to succeed. And so if we make it easy and we don't push them, then we are not giving them the chance to prove to themselves that they can do hard things. So
That's really eloquent.
thank you.
You used to work for ACA.
I know,
Oh my gosh.
yes.
I don't know about y'all, but I love working with Anna. I think she has, as a mother, such incredible insight.
Thank you. I mean, I will say that having worked, I didn't grow up going to camp, and I grew up in Brevard, where we are, and I didn't get camp. I was like, yeah, big deal, whatever. But since I have joined the camp community, and I have seen, this is my soapbox, I have seen what it has done for my own child. My own child tends to be pretty reserved. She doesn't like to try new things. She doesn't like change. She always wants to know what's going on. It is night and day difference it has made in her personality.
I noticed it within your own daughter. Avery has
Yes.
really learned how to advocate for herself
Yes.
and ask for help when she needs it.
And her independence level has soared. When she started 4th grade, she happened to not be with many friends, and she said, oh, it's okay, I'll make new ones, which was not my child 2 years ago. So that's my own personal experience, and something that, as a mom, I understand, you're far away from your kid, you're wondering, are they okay? But I can promise you, we do such an amazing job with staff training. We have amazing directors and leadership. It's just, it's a hard situation, but it's something that once your child comes out on the other side, they will be a changed person. So, let's see.
Oh, I like this question. What does my camper need for hiking and camping? Some sturdy closed-toed shoes would definitely be the main thing. Some extra socks, some nice wool socks maybe in case it rains. But other than that, just sturdy tennis shoes.
Yeah,
with
tennis
nice
shoes are
grip.
fine. Hiking shoes aren't really necessary. I mean, if you have some and you want to send them, that's okay, but tennis shoes work out really well.
How about I joined late, so might have, drop-off procedures. So we were talking about new parents. We really want them to come early at 10 a.m., new parents, and that kind of helps. We can get you all pointed in the right direction. And on tips for to get a good trunk, Anna, do you know?
Okay, so we have a partnership with a website called Everything Summer Camp. They have some great options. I got my kids on Amazon. So it doesn't matter. You just want something that's going to be sturdy. I typically recommend the medium size, which I think is like a 16 and a half inches tall, because it gives them some room to grow, but then it's not so big and so heavy. We just need something with a hard side on it because of we are in the mountains and it does get humid, and if it's a soft side, then it can fold in and trap moisture and promote mold growth. So we do ask for a hard side to help with the airflow.
Sorry, Lauren, a sleeping bag would be good because
unless you're a key camper.
But all of our other campers, to answer another question, even the 2-weekers, are going to go on an overnight trip. And even it is a fun experience where we have these beautiful, we're so lucky to be kind of built on top of a mountain. We have this nice wooded area. We have all these fun shelters, and everyone makes hot dogs and hamburgers and s'mores, and it's a really great bonding experience.
Absolutely. So if they are going to be here for longer than the key session, and the key session, I know I get a lot of questions about that, it's the exact same thing. It's just for 5 nights instead of a 2-week or longer period. So those run concurrently with our August session. So if you hear the term key camp, then it just means the shorter session for younger girls. Okay, let's see. And all campers going for the 2-week session get to go on an overnight trip, weather permitting. That's always the factor. But we do plan for an overnight camping trip for all 2-week and longer sessions.
what is the direct? So our executive director is also our owner, Paige, and then from there's Heidi, one of our directors, our associate director, Mary Elizabeth Dixon, myself, assistant director, Martha, and then Anna, our logistics manager.
Yes, and it's there is some information about our director on our website under the About tab. So if you go to KeystoneCamp.com, and then at the very top, if you click on About, on the right-hand side, there's a thing that says Meet Paige. So that tells you a little bit about Paige's background and history with camp, who she is, what she's about, and then you can read all of our bios on the next link, which is Meet the Directors. All right, you guys are asking great questions. Martha, will you tell us what TAPS is?
Oh my gosh, TAPS is one of my favorite things. We get around in a circle at the end of night, and we cross our hands, and we just kind of sing. It's a moment, where we kind of reflect on the day, and, the day is done, God the Son, kind of.
Yes, and it's just it's like our good night song and procedure. So it's it's just absolutely precious. I'm looking at, we have a question about what is the expected trunk size, cubic square inch, for example. I'm not quick at doing math on the fly, but I would say that the 32 by 18 by 16 and a half would be a great size for most campers. It's 4.7 cubic feet, or is that right? 8,121 cubic inches.
And I think the trunks are the way to go over soft-sided bags, because the trunks allow for more ventilation than those when everything's kind of folded down and dark on top of each other.
Absolutely.
Plus, I love my trunk still. I've had it since I was 6 years old, and it's covered in paint and stickers, and I use it sometimes as a coffee table at my house still. And it's just something fun.
Yeah.
I took it with me to college, all over the place.
Absolutely. And you are allowed to bring a duffel bag, and typically the way that parents pack, or they put all of the bedding and pillows and things that are going to go on the bed in the duffel bag. So when you get to camp, you can kind of unload that, get the bed set up, and then store that underneath the bunk. The trunk is truly what they're going to be living out of. So it's also, here's a pro tip for you. It's also helpful to pack your trunk with your camper so that she knows where her underwear is and everything she's getting, her socks, her uniform shirt, so that she knows where all of that stuff is. It's helpful to do it together. Let's see. The overnight trip is actually on our camp property. It's farther up above camp. So it's kind of removed. It's still on camp property, and they sleep in a shelter here at camp where if there happens to be bad weather or something happens, they're able to get back down to camp in just a few minutes.
And if you have any concerns or thoughts or questions about that, feel free to call. I'm kind of in charge of organizing that and spend a lot of time kind of figuring out those logistical pieces and enjoy it. So
it's a lot of fun. Okay, let's see. In addition to emails, when can I talk to our daughter by phone? We actually do not do camper and parent phone calls. It's been our experience that it never works to help with homesickness. The camper is here, they're having a great time, they can write you letters and emails, but we do not allow camper phone calls. If it's their birthday, there are a couple of exceptions.
Yes.
But
if your daughter's celebrating her birthday at camp, then you have a birthday call.
And that's pretty much it. If there's something going on, a director will call you, and then they will make a judgment call at that point, whether the camper will speak with you or not. But we don't have a scheduled phone call. Let's see. Okay, so the question is, so bedding should be first choice, a sleeping bag versus comforter and sheets. The sleeping bag is typically only used for the overnight camp out. When I make up my camper's bed, we do sheets and just a cheap pair of sheets because they're hard on them. So just a cheap set of sheets and a cheap comforter. Our lows in the mountains get down to about 50. In the 50s,
mid to upper 50s at night.
So
chilly.
I usually send her with just a regular comforter and then a fan. Some nights she sleeps under the covers. Some nights she sleeps on top with a fan. So that gives them a little bit more flexibility than a sleeping bag where they're either in or out.
Don't worry. Yes, there is a laundry day, which is always an exciting day. Everyone gets their laundry done every week, and there's a whole system for that, which we discuss really frequently in the office. But everyone does get their laundry done.
Yes, and one of the great things about Keystone is your camper will go home with the most beautifully organized trunk. It is I don't know how
In fact, I think I folded all of Crabapple in one of our 2-week sessions. I was there till like 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night folding children's underwear.
It's so beautiful.
It's so fun.
We're not going to send you home with a mess of dirty clothes. So they typically only have a small bag of dirty clothes depending on when their laundry day is. Let's see. Should we be prepared for hot weather or cold? Our highs are typically in the 80s with our lows in the mid to high 50s. So it does sometimes get a little chilly at night or in the morning. So a light sweatshirt, light jacket, definitely a rain jacket. We are known as the land where water falls. So we have quite a bit of rain, usually during rush hour, but it's always good to pack a rain jacket. Let's see. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, we weren't clear on the sleeping bag. It is definitely allowed to send a sleeping bag. It would not be my recommendation that would be your camper's sole setup as far as sleeping. If you send the sheets and the comforter, then it gives them a little bit more options to base the weather, temperature, all of that on. But the sleeping bag will be used for the overnight camp out. So definitely send a sleeping bag, and I would also recommend the sheets and comforter set. And usually Target has the college stuff out right before, at the beginning of the summer, so you can pick up a cheap comforter, cheap sheets.
Yes. Some of the uniforms are out of stock. Can we buy them in camp? Yes. Great question. We're kind of transitioning away from everything summer camp and keeping more things in our store. So you can absolutely buy your uniform shirt on opening day, right?
That's right, yes. And we're actually doing a pre-order this year.
Oh, right. I had forgot about that.
Yes.
Please explain that.
Okay, so there's a form on your forms dashboard, and you will fill it out if you need a camp uniform shirt, tie, or team T-shirt. So if you'll fill that out, let us know what size. We will get it ready for you. So on opening day, all you need to do is drop by the Tuck Shop, which is what we call our camp store, and pick it up. So we hope to make that a streamlined process this year.
I think we will.
Get it all ready for you guys. Y'all are asking great questions. Does anybody have anything else? Is there anything else? Okay, so I think my slide cut off, but on closing day is always on a Friday, and it's pretty much the reverse of opening day. So you'll pull in, and we will load up your trunk for you, and then you'll walk up and get your camper, and then you'll head out. So it's a pretty quick process. You don't really need to plan for a lot of time for that. Your camper will probably take a minute or two to say goodbye to her friends. But
we pride ourselves on having some of the most organized opening and closing day schedules in the game. We have gotten that feedback before.
Yes, we want to make sure that we are respecting your time and your camper time. So we want to be very efficient with that. Oh, that's a great question. Do you have a suggestion for the amount of money we should authorize for the Tuck Shop purchases? What can they purchase at Tuck? So we typically recommend $20 a week. They can purchase snack. The snacker, they can either get a snack and a drink, or just a drink or just snacks. And they're $1. So it's really hard to kind of rack up a big balance at the Tuck store. We do sell T-shirts, sweatshirts, sunglasses, flip-flops, things like that. We really try to limit that stuff to opening and closing day, just so it's much easier on everybody if the parents are with them when they make those purchases. But if your camper needs something and they're over their limit, or they're getting close to their limit, we will call you to get that authorized. We do one thing here's a pro tip too. We do have Crazy Creek chairs, which are the folding camp chairs, and it's not a requirement by any means, but we do end up having most campers with a Crazy Creek chair. Those are available in the camp store. They are $46. So that may be something you want to pick up on opening day, but we would never usually let a camper buy a Crazy Creek or something that expensive without parent permission.
Do girls need to bring their own tennis rackets? By all means, bring your own racket if that's, if you feel more comfortable playing on that, but we have plenty of great rackets that we have in stock for our tennis program.
Yes, we are very share friendly here at camp.
Oh my goodness. About water bottles. This is one of my favorite things to talk about it because we really try and get our girls to drink at least 4, if not 5 Nalgene's or Camelbacks a day. And we do have water filling stations. We have multiple different water fountains around camp and like coolers set up, and we are, pretty vigilant about making sure the girls are getting ice and water at meals and putting that in their water bottles for the rest of the day, and it's definitely something we really try and stress.
Yes, we have the best tasting water too. I love our water. Let's see. I'm going to send out an email later next week with some more information about purchasing camp T-shirts, uniform shirts, ties, all of that. And with that email will be your daughter's team name, so be on the lookout for that. A Crazy Creek chair is just a folding chair that sits on the ground, and it's kind of
like a little football stadium chair.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. And again, it's not required, but I do feel like most girls end up with one. At camp, they use them between activities. They use them sometimes at activities if they're waiting during evening program. Yes, we absolutely provide helmets and safety vests. We do helmets for horseback riding. We don't typically do safety vests, but the only thing that you'll need if your daughter wants to do horseback riding is a smooth sole shoe with a 1/4 inch or higher heel, so like a cowboy boot or a saddle shoe. You wouldn't want to do something like a hiking boot that could get stuck in the stirrup. And they do need jeans or leggings for horseback riding. So those are the only 2 requirements. We have everything else they'll need for the safety.
So something that's really fun, the girls do kind of get dressed up and bring costumes. So that's something where maybe a giant pair of sunglasses or a boa, but usually everyone brings a lot of costumes too, and there's always room to share.
Yes.
But we do find any reason to get dressed up and wear something crazy. We actually had an hour-and-a-half-long meeting about planning fun things to do and what costumes we should wear today.
Yes, and so if you're, we got a question about decorations, and your camper is welcome to bring some decorations for her bunk. We brought some battery-powered fairy lights last year for my daughter's bunk. Definitely pictures from home are welcome. We don't want to go all out crazy.
Nothing overly intrusive.
No. But just a little something to make her bunk feel like home is totally fine. Okay, so the uniform is a white polo shirt, and it's got the Keystone logo on it, and a blue tie, which is just like a piece of fabric that ties into a tie, and then a pair of navy shorts. So it can be any kind of navy shorts that you have at home or you want to buy, as long as they're solid navy. That's fine. And then the uniform shirt and tie and also the team tee are available at camp to purchase. Let's see. Okay, how much downtime do the girls get? You want to go over our schedule?
Great. So in the mornings, you wake up and you do your chores. You get to breakfast. Everyone has breakfast, which is always nice. We go to assembly where everyone kind of lounges around and we sing, songs and talk about what's going to be happening for the day, make announcements. That takes about 30 minutes. Then we get on to our first 4 activities. Then from there, again, lunch. Before lunch, there's about a 20-minute window where everyone's kind of lounging around again, making friendship bracelets, mingling. You go to lunch. Then after lunch, it's rest hour. During rest hour, you go back to your cabin. Everyone plays quiet card games, takes a nap, hopefully returns your email reply sheets, that sort of thing. Then after that is tuck, which is my favorite time of the day. That's when everyone goes down, has a snack, maybe an ice cream sandwich or, a LaCroix, and we just hang out and do chalk, and I don't know, it's just a nice time to mingle. From there we go to our next few activities, and then at about 5 o'clock is our free swim period, where we get to, swim, go down the slide, maybe catch tadpoles. Everyone just kind of hangs out for an hour or so before they get ready for dinner and our evening program. And then, of course, at night we have evening programs, which are my favorite thing and what I try and work on. But we do a lot of different games, camp-wide activities. There could be some sort of skit action, like a coffee house. Everyone's learning how to sing or perform a dance. Sometimes we bring in someone with birds of prey, and we learn about birds of prey. I think we're planning on a Renaissance fair this year, where I want to grill chicken legs, and we'll have a bouncy castle. So it could really, you can make it whatever you want, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes. So they have an hour of downtime in the middle of the day after lunch, and then they have a free period between their last activity and dinner, and then we do taps at 8:30, and then that is when they start getting ready for bed, and then lights out for our youngest is at 9, lights out for our middle grades is at 9:30, and lights out for our older girls are at 10. So it's a really great balance of being busy but not overly scheduled. So they do have downtime throughout the day to kind of rest and relax. Let's see. I did mention a fan, so they can bring a battery-operated fan. We don't have enough outlets in our cabins for plug-in fans, so just like it's like this big. I mean, it's just
something
a little personal size.
Clutter their area, but maybe they want it. Honestly, it's not really that necessary. No. People like to bring them anyway.
Yes.
Can you clarify? When we were talking about boots earlier, so we were talking about our horseback riding program. So you're going to want kind of like a horseback riding shoe, a Chelsea boot, if you will,
yes.
For horseback riding. But it does rain every so often, / quite a bit, so maybe rain boots are a great idea too.
Yes, but rain boots would probably not be the best choice for horseback.
No. Can they bring snacks?
We do not allow outside food to be brought in except for those fruit baskets, and that's because we are in the mountains and we have sometimes lots of little furry critters that like to come around if we had food available, and bugs and
baby skunks.
Yeah, it's not a great idea to have snacks in the cabin. So there is fruit available all day, and then they get snack time is our tuck period, which is it's like 2.5 hours after lunch. So they have plenty of opportunities to get some food. And then a lot of times the evening program will have a food element to it too. It's a lot of fun.
An ice cream sundae bar. I love an ice cream social. It's
so
my favorite.
Fun.
Should we send some special dress for a party? So that depends on who you talk to. We do have a couple dances with the local boys' camps. A lot of that attire, some girls like to dress in funny costumes and overalls. Some girls will put on a little cute sundress or some nice shorts. It's just
some girls wear their running shorts and their dirty T-shirts. Like
it's just whatever you feel comfortable in.
Yes, absolutely.
Personally, I'll wear overalls.
I think we usually send I think last year my camper wore a romper thing. I mean, it wasn't
snappy summer camp professional.
Yes.
Casual.
That's right. You guys are asking such great questions.
I really feel like we're doing a podcast.
I do too.
Oh my gosh.
Again, we are so sorry for the technical difficulties, and thank you guys so much for hanging with us. It worked fine, all the times we practiced it today. It was perfect, and then the real thing happened, and stuff happened. So, let's see. We got one question about boots. So if your daughter will be taking horseback, then she will need a pair of smooth sole shoes with a 1/4 inch heel or higher. So like a cowboy boot, a Chelsea boot, I think Martha said, or a saddle shoe. You don't want anything with a rugged sole or a rubber sole that's going to get stuck in the stirrup, and they need the sole to kind of catch on that stirrup. But if you want to send rain boots for the rain, then that's definitely up to you and something that may be good to have.
So what other questions do we have from you all? Anything else?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, again, it has been a pleasure to speak with you guys tonight. And, oh, yeah, the packing list is on the website. So if you actually check out KeystoneCamp.com/parents, there is a ton of great information there. It's got all of our policies, our parent handbook, our packing list, information about the fruit baskets. So that's a great resource for parents to check out. We were really intentional in designing that to make sure that it's easy, one spot, because I know we're all very busy and don't have time. So let's see. We have one more question, I think. Oh, they do not need a riding helmet. We definitely provide riding helmets for them. So that's all. And honestly, if they get to camp and they don't have riding boots, we have some riding boots they can borrow. I mean, we're never gonna keep a child out of an activity because they don't have the right equipment. So we're able to share and to find them what they need among ourselves. All right. Well, you guys have been amazing tonight. It's been so great to chat with you. And we're going to be doing that homesickness webinar in a couple weeks. We'll be sending out some more information about that. And in the meantime, I'm Anna. And if you have any questions, please feel free to call us.
Y'all can call us tomorrow. We are
Absolutely.
I love talking on the phone to moms.
Yes.
It is great. I love answering questions, so
yes,
feel free.
Anytime you have a question, we are here to answer it. So, I think that about wraps it up. We're actually going to post this webinar on that parents page. Last year's webinar is posted from last year, so if you are, nothing's on Netflix and you want to check it out, you can watch last year's as well to see if there's anything, any different questions that we didn't get answered tonight. But we will post this tomorrow, so you can go back and listen to it, and I will send out a link to it as well, because I know we had many parents that weren't able to make it. So thank you guys so much. So great to chat with you, and we will be talking with you guys soon.
Oh, my gosh.